Crafters. We hope you're doing great. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to play the game The Upside Down, as well as share some tips as to how to win the game. Okay, bit of a brief before I dig deep into this game. The Upside Down is a multi-dimensional game where you're trapped on the other dimension, that is, a creepy dimension full of monsters, traps, and wormholes. Your objective is to get out of it alive, and get out of it fast. Otherwise, you will lose, hence die. So, what are the components? We have this board, a nice polished dice, a wormhole card, a manual where the game is explained, the storyline where the 3 types of games that can be played in the game is explained, the power cards, 12 of them, and the 12 gaming pieces. Yes, you guessed it right, up to 12 players can play this game. Now, there are 3 types of games that you can play on the Upside Down. Beginning to end, where you win by going to the end. Then comes end to beginning, where you win by going reverse and finish here. And the third one being white versus red, where the whites try to reach the end, while the reds try to reach the beginning. It is a team-based contest that can get really intense. I'll go through all the 3 types of games, but before that, let's get familiar with the board. A few things will stand out, say the red monsters. If you ever land on a red monster, you go 5 steps back. While if you land on a killer monster, you are so doomed because it will send you right at the first tile of your journey. Now, you can see the wormholes. If you land on the wormholes, you have to instantly roll the dice for a wild card. This is a big gamble. As you can see, if you roll a 1 or 2, you jump 10 steps forward. But if you roll a 3 and 4, you go 10 steps back. And if you roll a 5, 6, then you go right at the beginning of your journey. Okay, next, you can see there is a tunnel in the middle of the game, a shortcut. It's full of traps though. If you dare to take this path and somehow go to the other end, you have a huge advantage. Not only that, if you step on what is called the super wormhole, there's only one in this game. If you step on this super wormhole, you can literally snatch a power card of an opponent. Now, what's a power card? For that, let's see how the game is played, alright? Now, let's start with beginning to end as an example. For a beginning to end game, it's best if at least 4 or 5 players are playing this game. 3 players work too, but 4 or 5 feels just about perfect. So, to start the game, pick a white piece. White pieces are to be used for the beginning to end game. Once all the players have selected their piece, the power cards are distributed randomly. Now, each player will have 1 superpower. Now, what are these powers? These powers are game changers, as you will have a unique capability, like eating your opponent and sending the player back, be immune to the killer monster, or the red monster, or even undoing the winning move of an opponent. You will only have 1 power unless you step onto the super wormhole and then snatch the power of any other opponent. Any number of times you land on this super wormhole, you can snatch the power of one opponent. Now, once you have your power card, do not tell the other players what your power is till you use it. Because you can clearly understand a lot depends on the power, so announcing it before using it certainly will make the opponents be more aware and perhaps alter strategy. Say if your power is a really good one and you have already told your opponents what it is, then the opponent obviously might try to snatch your power card if he or she steps on the super wormhole at any stage of the game. So, you got your power card, your gaming piece. Now you have got to roll a 3 to start the game. Once you roll a 3, you step on the begin tile and then go on with the game. So, dodge the red monster, killer monster, and if you fall on the wormhole, you better hope to get a 1 or 2 so that you propel forward. Now, right when you come at this junction, you have to make a choice if you want to go into the tunnel or not. It is really your call. Say you are here and you have rolled a 3. It is your call if you want to get into the tunnel or go to the other way. Alright, let's talk about the powers now. Say, if your power is that you're immune to a red monster twice, then you can only be protected from the red monster a couple of times. As to when, it's really your call. So if you say landed on the red monster at this stage and you feel like you should use your power, then you expose your power card and declare that you want to use it. Then you will be immune for this instance and left with another chance to be immune from the red monster. Same applies for the killer monsters. Alright, big tip. If you have gotten the power card of being immune from the killer monster, you are really lucky and you must get into the tunnel. The tunnel has 3 killer monsters, but having the capability of being immune from them once or twice might just work out perfectly in your favor. Okay, next, the power of eating your opponent and sending him or her right at the start. It is also your call when you want to use it. Just expose the card when you actually want to use it. That is, when you stepped onto your player's tile. You can eat the opponent if you step into the player's tile only, not the other way around. Alright? Okay. Big tip. Don't eat your opponents right at the start of the game. Wait till it's absolutely necessary. Now, the grand power. The power of undoing the winning move of your opponent. There are a very limited number of power cards which enables the player to be able to undo the winning move of an opponent once or twice. Say your opponent has just rolled a 4 and won. All you have to do is expose your power card and declare the player has to undo his move. The player will have to go back and wait for his next turn to roll the dice. Now that's some superpower. So that's beginning to end. Travel carefully, dodge monsters, and be nifty with your selection of the tunnel, use your power card wisely, and win the game. The same rule applies for the second type of game that can be played in the upside down, end to beginning. It feels different than beginning to end, since the traps are all laid out in reverse. We use the red gaming pieces for end to beginning. Now, the white versus red, where the white tries to go to the end and the red tries to go to the beginning. A minimum of 2 to 4 players are required on each side to play this game to make it more interesting and fun. No power cards are used in this game, and players can eat their opponents to send them back to the starting tile. You can only eat an opponent if you step into his or her tile. The game ends when all the players of one team reaches the end line before the opponent's team does. And that's it. We have played this game, The Upside Down, quite a few times with our customers on our shop in the game evening that we host every Thursday, and we have loved their reaction to the game. The game can get highly intense, and certainly does bring great thrill and horror when played under the influence of candle lights. Okay, the game is limited in stock and available on our website kraosbangladesh.com, so place your order now. Thank you, crafters. Take care.